In a world where best friends get together to discuss great movies and TV shows, and sometimes not so great movies and TV shows, this is Press Play Again. I'm your host, Bailey Passero.
Oh, there she goes.
I didn't know what was gonna happen.
I know. I figured I was like, I want to just like come from wherever that y'all wouldn't expect it.
We literally had
Um,
Bailey right before we started this was just like, close your eyes. Then when we opened them, she was gone, and I was like, maybe she just doesn't want to be on camera for the first one. I didn't know.
I
That was
know.
impressive. Honestly,
I
that was
feel
what
so
a way to
corny.
start it.
I feel like that might be one of the corniest things I've done in the last like two days. 2 days
Oh,
tops.
yeah.
It's important for everybody to set expectations, so I think that was.
I know. I wanted to set the bar really low for myself.
Can only get better now.
Yeah, exactly. So, hello everyone. This is the first official episode of Press Play Again.
Woo!
Again, I'm your host,
That
Bailey.
was too loud. Nobody do that. It's gonna fuck everything up.
What was too
Wait,
loud?
what? I didn't hear anything.
No, oh, you didn't hear me scream? Oh, that's good.
Oh, wow. Like,
I didn't hear you scream either.
That's
That's so
wild.
You
weird.
know what?
A single thing.
Maybe.
Went into the freaking Matrix.
Maybe.
And with me, the oh so fabuloso, Omar Zaki and Matthew Austin. Say hey, guys.
hello.
Hello. I'm happy
So
to be here.
I like when we talk like this. I think it's really cool.
It sounds
I
better,
think it's a bit creepy.
honestly, but it is
It
creepy.
is.
Really?
It's probably more creepy than cool. Anyway.
But also, can you imagine
um,
if, like, for a whole hour, 30 minutes, whatever this is, everybody's just doing this? Like, people would think we're so weird.
Well, we are, but either way. So just real quick to sum up what we're doing. I know we're planning on doing some sort of commercial to really explain us. It's going to be really great and cheesy and corny probably because that is the definition of what we are. I like to say we. I know it's mostly me, but I think we all have a little bit of corn inside of us.
Oh yeah, this wouldn't work
Um,
if we didn't.
So we decided, since we love movies so much and we love TV so much, because apparently that's all we ever do besides play games.
We're
We
simple
wanted
people.
to make a book club about it. So we could like all talk about it as friends and share it with the world so that y'all could listen because we can't go to the movies and we can't enjoy fun things like that anymore. Maybe ever again. So
Hey.
just kidding. Knock on wood.
Hopefully
Knock on
not.
every piece of wood. So I'm trying to look all official as a
Hendrik,
host
stop.
by drinking tea.
Can you guys hear
Great.
my dog?
No.
Okay.
No.
Wow, this thing works well. If I'm too
Also-
loud, it mutes me. If Hendrix in the background is barking,
Does he want to get in? Show him to the people.
he's
Oh.
not barking at the door. He's barking at somebody outside our house,
Oh,
probably
okay.
robbing us.
He's
so.
he's the greatest and weirdest, but
Yes.
but yeah,
He'll be
so-
on here one day.
Oh yeah, because he has a separation anxiety. But so yeah, we decided we're gonna just do this and talk about movies, and we're gonna force each other to watch specific ones we pick. Each episode, one of us is gonna pick a movie, something that we want the other two to see that we think they either haven't seen or don't remember they saw, or is just so great or so horrible that it needs to be shared with the world. So that's what we're gonna do for everyone, probably forever. So you're welcome.
There is no ending.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
This is us signing
but-
up to do this forever.
We did decide that whenever new movies get released, since everybody's probably saw on HBO, they're gonna be releasing so many amazing movies, which is so sad for movie theaters, but so great for us. So we are gonna we're discussing. We're not like reviewing. We're kind of just like giving our opinion, but everybody can love or hate whatever they want. This is
Yeah.
an open
Officially, but unofficially,
unofficially we're always
if
right.
you disagree with anything we say, just don't come back.
I'm kidding. Always come back to us.
Yeah, please.
So we're gonna discuss Soul, a wonderful, wonderful Pixar movie. I'm gonna go ahead and say how I felt about that, and it was wonderful. So yes, I've watched it twice so far. It's fantastic. So we decided we wanted to discuss that. So yeah, I think to get us started off on that.
Well, I'm sorry, just real quick. I don't want to interrupt our.
How fucking dare you? Just
There
kidding.
she goes. First curse word of the podcast, baby.
You're welcome.
Talia.
No, my wife forgot her phone in the room and she kind of needs it. So I'm going to just hand it to her real quick and then I'll be right
Or
back.
tell her to
Like,
say
I'ma hand it
hi.
in. Ah. Okay, I'll be right back.
She's busy, but tell her to say hi one day.
All right. Well,
His
so
wife is great. They just had a beautiful little baby.
they did.
He's such a precious little boy.
He's gonna grow up one day and replace Omar. That's the
is.
plan. It's like in
That's all we've
football when you
ever
draft a
wanted.
running back or you trade for running back, say, and then you draft another one, and it's like you're here for 2 years, and our hope is with the future.
I
And
hope everyone,
Ladies and
who is
gentlemen,
into
our hope
football-
is with Hakeem.
I hope everyone
It's not
who
with
isn't
Omar.
into football understands that, and now is into football.
I'm
All right,
Wait.
stop talking, because you're gonna realize it. Okay,
Whoa. What?
nothing.
What's going on?
Nothing.
All right. I'll sure just
So
hear it when the episode comes out.
so yeah, we are gonna dive on in. I figured I'd start out with the two main characters. The cast for this movie was Jamie Foxx and Tina Fey. Wasn't super sure how I was gonna feel about Tina Fey technically playing a child, I guess, but
She's an unborn child.
A soul.
Yeah, she's just a soul. She's not even a child. She's barely a thought.
Yeah, how old is she? Isn't she like 100 million something years?
Yeah,
Well,
that's true.
Her name is 22.
She's the 22nd soul.
You
right?
know, I never
Like, ever
thought about
created?
that. Does that mean that she was supposed to be like the 22nd soul ever
Well, yeah,
made?
because do you remember all the
Yeah.
names? So
I
I guess
did.
we'll go into that. But like, spoilers if anybody
Whoops.
hasn't watched the movie and for some reason is watching this.
Leave.
Let me click on
Um,
this soul review.
Yeah.
They went through like all of her mentors that like failed to get her to do anything.
Yeah.
And
Dude,
it
that
was
was
like
so cool.
Those were funny.
Michelangelo and Mother Teresa, even though I think Mother Teresa died relatively recent, like within the past 10 years, I mean. But it was all like people who have been dead forever. Not forever, but like dead. So
Yeah.
R.I.P.
She died in
Yeah.
1997. Mother
Wow,
Teresa.
Who?
that's
Mother Teresa.
Oh. Oh my God, 20 years? Over 20 years ago.
So, but
Nin-
that's
The 90s
crazy.
feel like it was 10 years ago to me.
Yeah,
But
Oh, yeah.
whatever.
for real.
But yeah, so she was
that
the
never, for some reason, that never hit
22nd
me. So she was supposed to be like Adam and Eve's like third
22nd
great
child.
grand.
If you believe in that, then yes. But
Interesting.
so yeah, she played that and it was great actually. I was kind of pleasantly surprised with that. And Jamie Foxx, just a treat. A treat. for
Dude,
the
I
world.
had no idea he was in this movie. I had no idea about anything that had to do with this movie. Yeah, I started the movie yesterday and I'm looking down my phone as it starts and my headphones are playing and I hear his voice. I'm like, wait, that's Jamie Foxx. Because his voice is like, you could just tell.
Oh yeah.
It was
As you recognize it at
wild.
first, because I feel like so I saw that he was in it like when they were first advertising this
Mhm.
movie, and I got the whole reason I got excited. I was like, "Jazz, Jamie Foxx, okay, like
Perfect.
marriage." But when I first heard him, I like didn't recognize it, but that's probably just because I was too excited. Like I was like not focused. But yeah, no, he was fantastic.
Oh, he was.
So I think we decided we're gonna in the okay Bailey talk.
Jeez.
But hey,
I'm
to
just kidding.
split this up in segments, we're probably gonna be doing it in like 3 sections. I think that's what we've discussed.
Yeah,
we're
we
gonna
kind of
talk,
figured. I
Like
think
middle,
that.
beginning, end, and
Yeah.
acts like a play, which is my favorite.
Yeah, because honestly, we could just go through the plot kind of like verbatim and just talk about it like that, but the episode would probably end up being super long. We'd get part of the plot wrong anyway, and I don't know. We just don't want to turn it into something too like formal or whatnot. So right now, I think that the idea we came up with, the best way to talk about it was just to split it up into thirds. We'll try to stay within those constraints. If you mention something from a different part of the movie, you're out of the podcast. So
Oh, it's like a game.
yeah, so I just remember
Fun.
that. We have a long list of people that we could get in here. Starting with your son, Omar.
Jeez.
No, we've
He'd love
discussed
that.
it.
But yeah, so we're
yeah,
gonna try that. We're gonna see. You know what? It might come off super weird. We're gonna see. So you know, if it feels weird, if you don't like this, just tell us.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna dive in. This is how we're gonna be starting things off. I'm gonna go Act 1, and then that will start Act 1, and then I'll go Act 2. like as
You
if
have to now.
curtains were-
Yes.
Okay. So in the beginning, Act 1, we see this man.
Wait. Where's what's the points, or do we not say that first?
What do you mean?
Like I thought we were gonna. Yeah, you're right. Never mind.
I
I'm
thought we were
stupid.
just starting in then like we start Act 2 when we get to the part
That
where
perfect.
it seems like it would
Perfect.
be Act 2. You know?
Exactly. We'll just be like, hey, this is Act 2 now.
Okay, cool. All right. I'm going to redo this now. Okay. Act 1. We start with a man a little down on his luck. It's actually, okay, I feel like I need to point this out. With, you know how like in Disney, they always do like the like thing over the castle? It's like the,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wave.
Yeah, I was doing
it's
Jurassic
like
Park. For
the it's not a rainbow. It's like
It's a castle.
like a shooting star that goes
Yeah,
over
yeah.
it.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
that whole part. And then it does the da na 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 the thing like the music. And then they do it with like the crappy band music, which I thought was really funny. I didn't get it at first because I was like, is it messed up? Like, because I didn't realize he was gonna be a band teacher for some reason. But then when they like pan into him like teaching band, I was like, oh, this is great because I loved band class. I didn't do band, but I took it because I was on the dance team in high school and I was like, "Oh, this will be an easy A." And it was. Um, but I would play with all the instruments not knowing how to do any type of
And it
like
kind of
I'm
sounded
not
like that.
musically talented at all. Great. So it was like bringing me back and I was like, "Oh, this is wonderful." So yeah, it's him trying to teach and he's doing a great job, I think. Like he's really patient, he's really understanding. He seems like a really good teacher. So I was like, this is great already. And then he does the whole part where like one of his students like gets lost in it, and I love that
That part was
because
so
it's
cool.
pretty much just like showing what the entire movie's about.
Hmm.
I thought it was so cool.
No, yeah, I agree that. And I guess my head already jumped to the part where he's like once he's at the bar or whatever and he's doing it, but like I feel like the way this movie like had the idea of like when you're in your zone, you're just like everything else is blocked out, and that's something we like talk about all the time when you're in your zone, but like to show it that way and to visualize like that, I thought was I mean, like spoiler, I love this movie. I thought it was great. And like this is
Could
Pixar
have done
at
that. I don't
its
know why I didn't do that in the
do what?
beginning.
Oh,
Like
ask
give
us
our
how we feel.
first, yeah.
But
Oops.
well, no, that's like I mean, hey, we're still figuring it out. So,
Yeah.
but no, basically, I loved it, and it's because Pixar's always so like just like they're close to home, right? They're always talking about things that are relevant, and I feel like this movie in particular is so just inspirational. If you are feeling any kind of way, and its message about like what you should be doing with your life is so varied in the sense that like it's not telling you to just like up and quit your job if you're working at an office or something, or to like just start doing something else. It's like do what you want to do and don't regret what you're like doing or not doing. You know what I mean? Like everybody's different. Everybody's got their own kind of just like what they want to be doing, and that's what's important is if you're happy in doing it.
Well, yeah, and that's what they kind of start leaning towards that in the end. But right now they don't, and he very much is miserable and like would rather be just playing like in an amazing band instead of teaching like a bunch of kids how to play instruments. And so I love like they go from here and then he goes to like his mom who owns like she's a seamstress, so she owns a store for that, and they like the characters they have in this movie are hilarious and I feel like they feel the most authentic. Like it feels like real people, like I could hear people having this conversation, not like this is scripted Disney stuff. Like
Right.
it just felt like I was like this is real life and I really loved that about it. So I feel like whenever it went to like whenever he would go to his mom's and like he'd be talking with like his mom's best friends and everything, I was like this is so fun.
I was
But
actually I was reading something about because this is a fact that I'm
Omar, the
gonna share
fact
later.
checker for us.
Yeah,
Just
I
so
was gonna
y'all
share this
know.
later, but pretty much this is the first African American protagonist, right? Of
For
a
Pixar?
Yeah, right.
Okay, cool.
So they actually
I
had a
guess not
whole
ever. I don't know why I asked that question.
task force just to make sure that it was very very true and factual to that culture, the African American
Oh,
culture.
sweet. Well,
Yeah,
they
and
did
that's
great.
even dude, they did. I mean, representation in this movie was just beyond amazing, right? Because I mean, we even see that, yeah, like how him and his mom are, how they interact, how he interacts with their friends. It's a very real life thing, and yeah, I just remember reading that. It was so cool. And apparently, like at the end of the movie too, like after the credit, like while the credits are rolling, I think there's like a tab or something that you can click for extras, and I think that's where it talks about like how they had a whole task force just like
Oh,
for
okay.
that.
Oh wow,
I need to go
okay.
watch
I
that.
didn't know
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Same.
I mean that's incredible because I think they did such a beautiful job with this movie. I'm really upset it couldn't go to theaters and like really be marketed the way it probably deserved cuz again, I'm going to already say it and I shouldn't say this soon, but like this was like one of my favorite Pixar movies I've
Dude,
seen.
yes.
Like
I was gonna ask you guys because I've only seen like maybe 5 total Pixar movies. I'm sure you guys
really?
have seen most of. Yeah, yeah.
Oh
Spoiler
my god,
alert.
I've seen like every single one.
There are going to be more Pixar movies on the show, I feel, because of Omar, because there's
Yeah,
some
because dude,
glaring omissions in Omar's like
there
Pixar
are.
back catalog, because he's never seen Monsters Inc. What?
That's one of them. Yeah, I know, dude. Mind blown. I mean, yeah, The Incredibles. That already takes up like 2 spots. Apparently,
Oh my
I
god.
want to say I want to say this. Soul was maybe their 22nd Pixar movie. I think it
That
was
that
either
makes
Sounds
sense.
22nd
right.
or 23rd.
I
That makes
didn't
sense.
fact check it.
But yeah, out of all of out of all of those numbers, yeah, I've only seen like maybe 5 or 6. And I was gonna ask you guys because I know you've seen most of those movies, right?
Yeah,
If
we've
not
probably
all,
seen
maybe.
all of them.
Right. I
Yeah,
was gonna ask you guys like some
except for
point
Good
while we were talking
Dinosaur.
about this.
That's Pixar, right?
I don't know
Yes.
what that
I haven't
is
seen
it?
Good
Yeah.
Dinosaur.
I was gonna ask you guys, yeah, at some point where you guys ranked it, if it was like in your top 3 or whatever. But
I'd have to really think about it, but
It's so
right
yeah.
hard.
now I get so high on movies. Not like smoking, like I'm like, ugh,
420
no.
baby.
I mean, I just when I watch a movie and I love it, I at the time would be like, this is my favorite movie ever.
Hmm.
And then like a couple months later, I'm like, okay, calm
That's
down,
what happened with
Bailey.
Rise of
Okay,
Skywalker.
Bailey.
It did. All right, we're not gonna get into that yet.
Let's
We
already
can
start a
discuss
war.
that. Let's not do that on the first episode, but
I think with Pixar, it's hard to rank them because nostalgia and just like your love for characters comes in so much. Like I loved every character in here, but it's so hard then when you stack like you have to rank these characters against like fucking like Woody and Buzz Lightyear. You know what I mean? Like that's such a hard thing to
Yep.
do, and I feel like that comes into like play so much when you're trying to rank Pixar movies. But just in terms, if I was gonna take all that out and say just in terms of like how solid of a movie this is and how deep it is, like this is up there for me with Pixar. Like even if I'm not even talking about just pure favorite because it's hard to not factor in like
Right.
characters and nostalgia, but like just in terms of like Pixar growing, like for them to like how many movies did you say they've made, Omar? 22, 20
Either 22 or this was their 23rd. Either
like
or.
for them to have made that many movies, like this feels like the movie that would be the most recent one. You know what I mean? Like not just in visual quality, but just in terms of like how deep it is and how much they're pushing the bar. Like
I mean,
this
dude,
feels
yeah,
like
like, after
people
the
that
year
have
we
been
had,
making
too.
movies for so. Oh yeah, 100%. Like coming
Mhm.
out of 2020 and then to have this message for people that are like honestly feeling like shit about a million things in the world right now. It's like this is such a powerful movie that like it's crazy because when they made this movie they hadn't lived through 2020 yet, and it's
Right.
just like for this to come out now when people needed it and to kind of feel like a sense of just like you know happiness and worth and like
Mhm.
that you can change anything about yourself that you don't like you are in control of that and you can push forward and stuff like that. It's just like this is such an important movie that I think like to Bailey's point too, it sucks it couldn't come out in theaters, but hopefully most people have Disney Plus and are able to watch this because
I feel like
I
most
think it can
people
help.
do or should. And I know it's like the whole like, oh my God, Disney's like ruling the world. It's a big corporation. It doesn't
Huh.
matter if the content is as good as it is. I'm
I know.
sorry, but like get it because you're missing out
No,
on
it's
a,
worth
like
it, man.
so
Omar,
much
I
stuff.
sent you and one of our other friends Tyler something like a couple weeks ago about Star Wars. Do you remember? It was right after Mando ended, and it was somebody on Twitter saying like the whole thing about I'm not even gonna say I don't want to spoil Mando for anybody, but the last season there's a character that pops up in it, and somebody was like just basically shitting on everyone's parade, right? They were like it's like, oh, Disney did this on purpose. They're just marketing this to you guys and all that. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
somebody just like replied to him like, oh yeah, how dare they like take my franchises and do everything like the way that you would love it about them. I'm misquoting it heavily, but like the actual tweet was hilarious. It's just like, yeah, they're trying to make money, but when you can tell when they're putting like thought and care and heart into things, and I think Soul is a really good
Oh, for
explanation
sure,
of that.
man. Yeah.
What this movie is. So, continuing on in Act 1, we are at his mom's, and you find out that his mom is super against him not having a real job and like not having like a 401k and health insurance, and like, amen to that because
Amen, baby.
people People have it and people don't right now, and both suck because either way, you're probably miserable. So
I'm not gonna
I
say which one I am,
I feel
but I'm not happy right now.
either way, it sucks. And his mom is just kind of like probably telling him things that every single person has heard once in their life, especially like recent. So that sucked because you're like, well, I get everything that she's saying, but I also get why he's feeling the way he is. And then he's like, I just want to play jazz. And we're like, you should because you're really good at it. And then like in the middle of it, he gets a call from one of his old students, which I think is funny because he's bald, but his name is Curly. And I love when stuff like that happens. I think it's so funny. But it's also Questlove, which is super cool. Actually, let me double check and make sure because I don't want to misquote that. But do you have
Unbelievable.
IMDb? Do you have IMDb up?
Yeah, Questlove plays Curly.
Curly. Perfect.
Nice.
God, I know I'm so good.
I'm y'all are gonna call me Nate, but who's Questlove?
I have no idea.
He's a singer and a musician.
Oh,
He's
okay.
and he also plays. It's either Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon. I don't know which one he was on.
He plays him?
No, he plays music on the
Oh.
show, like live.
Oh, you're like
Oh, that's
also he
cool, I
plays
know.
Jimmy Fallon. He is
It's
who
one
you
of the
know as
it's one
Jimmy
of the
Fallon.
Jimmys. We'll just say Jimmy. So
Jimbo.
and he's
Jimbo.
great. He's like super funny and like awesome. So I'm glad he was in this movie too. But so he gets a call from him and he gets like the opportunity of a lifetime to come audition to play piano for what was her name? Dorothea Williams, which when I was watching this movie, I immediately looked up who Dorothea Williams was because I was like, "Oh my god, must be like a famous jazz like saxophone player." It's fake. Disney made the person up.
figured.
I really thought it was going to be someone famous, but I was
real
wrong.
quick though, the actress that plays her, she's from 911, same lady that played Black Panther's mom.
Oh,
which I thought was
Angela
pretty cool.
Bassett.
Oh,
I
nice.
think that's her name. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's who played his mom. That's awesome. Yay, I love
It is.
her.
Yeah.
So yeah, he goes and auditions and then he does the whole thing where he gets lost and goes into his zone and oh my god, when they have whoever played the piano for this movie like
Dude,
do all
incredible.
the
Yeah.
piano stuff, my god, it's so good. And it makes me wish I was like musically talented.
Look at
That's
this guy.
Matt trying to
Look at
think.
that guy. He's in the zone.
Matt, that looks like not right.
Dude.
Yeah, it does not look right at all.
I was
buddy.
in this. Oh. Oh
Wait,
man.
he was in some type of zone, let me tell you.
Yep.
But yeah, so that was great and the jazz is so beautiful. I love jazz music. I don't know if y'all knew that about me. Huge jazz fan.
I
That's
know,
funny because I actually hate jazz music. I'm just kidding.
Wait, what'd you put in your hand?
There's a part of my keyboard that just comes off.
Oh my god.
You're banging it like a gavel?
Yeah. I was like putting my foot down.
So yeah, I think this is like all just it's explaining how he is. Like he's very driven by his dream more than like living life and trying to find a way to survive. Like I
Right.
feel like how most people are with us, especially like I can say I've been struggling with that like as of lately where I want to do stuff that makes me happy, but I also need to get money and pay rent and have a 401k and health insurance, which coincidentally I got a new job and then forgot to sign up in
Okay.
time for health insurance. So I also have no health insurance right now. So
Hate to
it's
see it.
great. I'm working for no reason. But anyway, it's one of those things where I feel like you see him so driven by his dream and you want to be like that, but you don't understand yet like why he is miserable still. And like miserable's a hard word because like I don't think anybody's really miserable in any Pixar movies. They're never gonna like say that the person's like sad and depressed. But like this is a
Inside
movie
Out.
I feel like that except
Yeah,
for
that's
Inside Out. But this is a movie I
Omar,
think
have
that
you
like
seen that one?
I have. Jade forced me to watch it.
Nice. Did you like it?
I did. I
Nice.
did a lot.
Alright.
I feel like this is a movie though that like it shows like depression and like sadness in a more human and understanding way.
Like, you
you're
can
not
relate to
sad
it.
all the
Yeah.
time, but it's something that like is always on your mind that you want to change about
I
yourself.
honestly want to say too, like this movie was, I think one of the first Pixar movies, one of the only Pixar movies that I've seen, to where I like sure it was meant for children, but I think as adults, especially after the year we've had, we can relate to it a lot more.
I
Like
think
I think it's like a certain age you're above, like eight and above. This movie, like you could just relate to it. It impacted you in a certain way. Whereas I feel like a lot of the messages or points in the movie, if you're like a much younger kid, right, like a 4-year-old or something, it probably just went right over their heads.
yeah, I think that with the exception of maybe Coco, which obviously that dealing with like death is such a
Right.
like thing that's going to go over kids' heads too, but like this movie is such something that I think if you're a really young kid, like you're not going to get it. But
Right.
even weirder thing to me, and not even really weird, I just think I'm curious to talk to some kids about what they think about this movie.
Don't say.
Post
No,
something online, say I need a few kids to
Nope.
talk
oh
to.
god. No, what I mean though is like I'm curious if because just like the characters, you know what I mean? The characters are awesome, but I feel like Coco is so like vibrant and stuff that I think that going over kids' head, they kind of just like all the neon like dark
Exactly.
stuff like
Right.
all
It drew
that's
them
kind of
in.
cool. This is like so much of it. Like I'm just curious if kids really like dig this movie or if they're just kind of like man, like whatever. Because if this one going over their heads, I feel like there's less. I feel like this is the least Pixar movie that there has. I'm saying the sentence weird, but like there's not a lot of content in this for kids. It's weird. This movie's like straight up feels like it's just made for people that are over a certain age, and there's nothing in
That,
it that would
like,
offend a kid. But I feel like there's just so much that you wouldn't understand watching
if
it
you
as
think
a child.
about it, like we grew up when Pixar was like hitting its stride.
Stride.
Like
Yeah.
it was really doing well and like really reaching to all of us. So technically if they're going to make stuff for like their audience, it's yeah,
It's for us.
kids, but it's
Yeah.
also like who are the people that are going to like be with us forever, and it's going to be the people who grew up with us.
Mhm.
So
I
I
love
feel
that. I
like
think that's awesome.
that's like they have to like shout out and give us our movie, and then
Yeah.
after that they can do a kid movie. That's why Cars 3 was created. So like
It's true.
I feel like
Omar, have you
Never
seen
seen
Cars
those
3?
movies. Not 1, 2, or 3, buddy.
you can just watch one.
Really?
Yeah.
3 was good.
3 was okay.
Just don't watch 2.
But it's definitely just like nothing like this. Either way though, this isn't about
It's
that.
not.
This is about Soul. So he finds out, he goes and does his like little not rehearsal, his audition.
Yeah.
Does amazing. Dorothea is like, "Come on, you're a part of us. You got to be here." She calls him Teach. I love it. I think it's
Yeah.
a cute little nickname. But so he gets it. He's running around. I think this is like really cool visuals when he's like running through New York on his phone, like telling somebody he got the gig, and everything that he's walking past is
Dude,
all things
yes.
that could have killed him.
I
Like,
was like, that fucking piano's gonna hit him right in the head.
well,
dude.
it was like
It's like,
no,
we
it
know
was
it's coming.
bricks. It was bricks.
Oh, it was
like
bricks, yeah.
fell from like this, and I was like, I mean, that literally would have crushed. Like his body would have been crushed. There would have been no way he could live after that.
0.
Right.
And then he like did something where he was like walking through a bunch of nails that spilled on the ground, and then it was something else. But then it's like he misses all of that. He walks through traffic, and then he finally like almost gets hit by a car, stops, and then does the thing where he takes a step and just falls in a hole.
Yeah.
Which I just think all of that was really funny and
was.
clever,
Very Looney Tunes.
very Looney Tunes. And then he falls in the hole, and in my opinion, this is where we would start Act 2.
Let's
How
go,
do we
baby.
feel? Okay.
Let's go.
Act 2. He falls in a hole. And then this part, I feel like this part would have been scary to me as a
Yes,
child.
dude. That's what I was thinking too.
Because it was almost scary to me as, I guess I would call myself an adult. But
You know what's crazy? Wait a second. Like, and it does. All this doesn't even matter. But this is where the title plays.
I know, and I find that really cool.
Yeah, but it's just
Oh,
crazy.
like-
you guys actually want to know something? Another fact that I'm gonna throw in real quick.
There we go,
And
Mr.
I
Fact.
did not know this.
Mr.
Pretty
Fact.
interesting. Let me hit you guys with a fact. Hold
We're gonna
up.
need to get Omar a
Hit
shirt
us
that
with
says
that
Mr.
one,
Fact.
too.
I would actually love that.
I'll make it
That would-
happen.
that would very much
I can just
enjoy
draw something and just like put it on you during this part. I'll just
Okay.
drag it.
I'll tape it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Okay, so
Gonna
in
draw it and send it to you.
oh my God. An initial draft of the story, 22 was the main character, not Joe, and 22 had a strong dislike for Earth. And the film, literally, the entire film was supposed to take place in the Soul world, right? Like the
Oh.
entire movie,
So
yeah.
the whole
and
jazz part was not there.
Joe, like the whole point of him, he was created to help show her why Earth was worth living. So I just thought, yeah, cool, like that the title Like initially, yeah, it was just supposed to be the entire movie was on
Excuse
that
me.
world, and
And I think I read about that and I saw that they were doing all of that and then they were like this isn't something that is going to make people interested. Like you need something and then I think that's how they brought in music and
yeah,
jazz
exactly.
being like a huge part of it, which
Dude,
I love, so I'm
s-
glad they did that.
straight up Pixar, like, and I watched a documentary. It was on Netflix. Maybe now it's on Disney Plus because this was before Disney Plus was a thing. But about the just first couple years of Pixar, which was like Toy Story 1 and 2, and
Hmm.
it's
Yeah.
very interesting, like watching how they, even from the beginning, like they recognize when something's not working. Like if it's really
Right.
interesting to watch what Toy Story was like before it was Toy Story, like what it was on the drawing room floor. Like Woody was just like an asshole. Like he just sucked. And they like had the whole movie like basically written and were like doing like pre CGI, or not CGI, but because they were the first ones to ever really do
Animation,
animation.
whatever.
But yeah, and they were showing it to like just the head of Pixar or whatever, and they were just like, no, this guy's an asshole. Nobody wants, like, and they just like, it's crazy. Then they're so committed to making it work, and if something doesn't work, even from the beginning with that, it like they went back and
Yeah.
obviously changed Woody completely, and
I mean,
so that makes a lot of sense. Like they're just not afraid to like if something's not working to just
To
kind of
admit
call it what
it's
it is
wrong.
and be like, hey, we
right.
want.
Right.
That's why their bar is just so high, man. Like that's
I
why
know.
everything is so good, because you can just tell they put all that time and effort into it and make it work.
And it works.
Except for Cars 2.
Oh, it worked.
Cars
Except
2,
for
they were
Cars
like,
2.
no, we're gonna make
Um
this real bad.
so that's when he falls into the great beyond, I think is what they keep calling it.
No, he's
Right.
trying to get to the great beyond, right? But then he falls into
No,
the
he's trying to
great
stay
No,
away
he's
from the
trying to
great
stay away
beyond.
or
from the great
right,
beyond.
he's
Yeah.
trying to stay away
He's
from the great
fallen-
beyond.
okay.
He falls into
It's the great before. The great
the
before.
before.
Yeah.
To paint a picture though, he falls onto the elevator or the escalator leading to the great beyond.
How
Because that's what
fucking
happens
cool
when he
did all
falls in the
that look?
hole. He falls onto that, and it's just like it's what's so terrifying. It's like if he falls on this like escalator of sorts that is,
Dude,
you know, those like
fucking
moving
creepy, bro.
sidewalks. It's like that, but going like upwards, and it's going to like death. So
I know.
it's like this
Kind of scared me.
giant white hole. And it looks like how a black hole would look, in my opinion. Like that's what that looks like,
I
where
actually
all
really
the
liked.
stars are like warping and stuff. It's
So
so
cool.
creepy,
It
but
looked
it's
cool,
really
but it
cool.
was creepy. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I actually kind of like too, and I don't know if this was maybe catered more for the fact that kids were watching. But there wasn't really like, and he even brings it up at some point. There wasn't heaven or hell, right? It was just the
Right.
great beyond,
Yeah.
and I thought that was
Or
kind
the
of
great
cool.
before. Yeah, and
No,
I
no,
think
well, he
that
was heading to the great
Right,
beyond.
like they don't get into
right, but that's like
where
the
he
two
would
different
end up.
things.
Yeah.
It's the
Right,
great
right.
beyond and the great before, and the thing he's in is like I guess essentially purgatory, but like I don't remember what they called it.
It's
The
just
great
the
before.
Oh, the
Right.
great before was that? Interesting.
no. She's talking about the
I'm
little
talking about
escalator thing, the
something.
steps, right? Is that what you're talking about?
I think they alluded to
Oh.
something being like purgatory. Either way, it gets lost on me. I guess it doesn't really matter. The point is, he's like
Disney's
he
like,
notices,
okay, and then all the kids prayed for him, and then he.
he notices that he's like about to die for real, and so he's like talking to. I think it's cute how he's like talking to all these old people who are like, oh, like it must have been a
Yeah.
unexpected death for you.
A quick
But
one.
like, I think it's interesting how they don't say death a lot in this movie, even though it's literally revolving around life and death. So like, I think that's the whole kid aspect of it. It's like we don't
Mhm.
want to just like push death on children,
Right.
but we want them to be like accepting of things. So and like it's so educational. They did so well. But so he starts like running away because he's like, I'm not dying. Like I literally am about to
It's
play
my
in a
day.
He's like, I'm about to play in a band. I can't die. So
I'm gonna be in a
even
band,
though
baby.
I feel like he is a go getter, because if that were me and I saw what was happening, I'd be like, well, all
This is
right,
it.
Goodbye.
no more taxes.
Great beyond, here I
So,
come. I
Here
don't know
we
what's
go.
there, but I'm coming.
So he starts running away and he somehow rips a hole, which I find it really interesting. This is just like movie magic kind of thing. Not really, because it's like animated, but how did like not one other soul that didn't want to die yet, like not think to just like rip a hole in the wall and like
Maybe.
not die?
Maybe they have. Maybe
I'm
there's
no,
gonna be a
well
whole
that's the thing.
animated
They
series.
said there wasn't a missing soul for like centuries or whatever.
Very true.
Like they said it, so I was like, that's interesting. I guess my mind just went to that because I'd be like, well, if everyone could do that, then like why wouldn't they try? It doesn't matter. But he does. He rips a hole into this like invisible wall and falls like even further to where he ends up in the great beyond, which is where you find out it's like this like corporation made view of how you make a soul, and it like shows these cute little blue guys like jumping around, and like they shoo them into like the excitement chamber or whatever, and it all like makes them like have their specific personalities. And he is like trying to figure out how to get back to Earth, sees that there's like a hole you can jump in that brings you to Earth, and he tries to do it like a bunch of times. It doesn't work. He keeps
Like, no,
coming
sir.
back, like no matter what. And then he essentially goes to some type of seminar, and he finds out that you can mentor a child. They have a little Earth sticker pop up on them, and then they fly to Earth and become a child.
Wait, is it a child or is it just any soul that hasn't been to Earth yet? Which I guess, essentially would be like a
I guess
newborn.
I took it as like a
You're the one that
person
just had a
being
baby.
born.
Tell me.
Well, yeah, just newborn.
What's your
Wait,
son's
you're asking
soul
me?
like?
Yeah. What happened?
Yeah,
How did your son
I
come
led him
into
to Earth.
existence?
I guess I don't know. Well, you really want to know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Give me all the details. I'm just kidding. I don't. This is G.
Personality will your son have? I'm kidding. So yeah,
Also-
all that happened.
And don't, like, it doesn't really matter, but we're already at 36 minutes. So
Shit.
yeah, so if we're targeting even like 45, that means we got to do the second half of the movie in rapid mode, but no pressure.
See, and this is something we need to figure out, because I'm just like, if we go through the plots even in acts, we're just gonna feel like we
Well,
need to go through the
okay,
whole
Well, I feel
full
like we're going too
disclosure.
much.
Here's
Yeah.
what I think, and I don't think we talked about it enough, but who cares, guys? Listen in on our conversations. When I said the thing about the act, and honestly, your voice and everything you've said has just been mesmerizing, so I didn't want to stop you. But the whole thing about acts was not so much to go through them still, but it was like, let's talk about casually the first third of the movie, not in order, or like not going through the plot of it, just like,
Got
hey, we're
it.
going to talk about the beginning, and then once we get to the middle, hey, we're going to talk about stuff
Yeah.
that happened in the middle, and then the end, talk about the end.
Got it. I misunderstood,
That's
and
okay.
I'm being over ambitious. So
You're just explaining to everybody what's going on, and I think that's good because
And
especially if any kids
it's
out there are
good, but
watching,
at the same time, if you watched this movie, you watched.
Bailey, your
movies.
niece and nephew, if they watch this movie, they're gonna be like, Bailey, I don't know what happened. Like,
They-
explain it to me, and you're
they're-
gonna be like, guess what? I have a video for it, and
I'm gonna be like, guess
people
what,
might say
kids?
fuck,
It's
but
about death.
you don't know what
and
that means yet.
living.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So I guess we can just talk about it then. We can just like cut into that, right?
Oh yeah.
Now.
No, I say hell yeah. I mean,
Well, I mean, if you guys want to like just rapid fire.
yeah,
kind
just
of,
rapid fire. Just
we could just kind of talk about like what we liked, what we didn't like.
Yeah.
And just kind of go from there. Like I'll say, for example, like my favorite thing about the movie. The best thing about the movie I thought was the animation. I mean, dude, I was watching this movie, especially when
Oh,
they
it
were
was
in New York.
beautiful.
I kept thinking, wait, this looks like a fucking PS5 game in performance mode and just like ray tracing, like the whole,
I love
like
it.
everything. Dude. It just looks so good.
It did.
And New York just looks so fucking beautiful.
Oh my
man.
god, that scene where like eventually he meets because I've already started explaining, so I have to explain some of it at least. But like y'all know, he eventually meets 22, who is Tina Fey.
Yeah.
And like they somehow get jumbled up and come back to Earth, but like he's inside of a cat and she's inside of him, which sounds weird, but
Their
you
souls
get it
are.
If you've seen the movie.
I thought the cat looked
Right.
weird too. Like
Oh, I
aside
liked
from-
the cat.
No, I
I
love
like
the
cat
cat,
was
but
that.
I'm talking about when you compare like the animation, right? Like the movie had a certain style of animation, and the cat, like to me at least, looked a bit off. I don't know.
Because
that was just-
the animation I feel like had it to where like the bottom half of everyone's faces were like really big, and then the top halves were like kind of small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Like it looked like, what's that? A gourd
Yeah.
shape.
The movie seemed like it
That's
was
like-
it was like they took realistic things, but then they just exaggerated every
Yeah.
feature that everybody had. And that was cool because somehow they did it perfectly, because I feel like it's easy to just fuck that up. Like if you exaggerate something, you can just very quickly make it look either like uncanny or just like ridiculous. But
Mhm.
this movie straight up just everything looked like a cartoonified, animated,
Yeah.
but still realistic. So it was really cool. But I get what you're saying, honestly. The cat felt like a cat
A bit
maybe
too more
from somewhere else.
cartoony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cartoony. I guess
Suspicious.
that didn't bother me though.
Oh,
I
no,
liked
no,
it,
no.
but it probably didn't
Yeah.
help that I feel like that could have potentially been the only animal we even saw in the movie, so that probably didn't help it.
The best way I could describe it
Oh, a
is
rat.
it
There's a
seems
rat.
like if there was
Oh, a
another
rat.
cat, like if there might have been another cat just walking around the background in New York, and I feel like that cat wouldn't have looked like this cat.
Yeah,
You get what
exactly.
I'm saying?
Exactly.
I'll tell you what though, that scene where like the cat's dragging the pizza and then the rat's dragging the
Dude,
pizza,
yeah.
I just want pizza so freaking
Dude,
bad when
I
I'm
told
watching that.
when me and Bailey watched it the first time, we had already decided to get Chinese food, but I told her I made
Damn.
a
What
plea.
a
Switched?
fucking mistake that
I made a
was.
plea after the movie. I was like, I know we already made a decision, but I'm just gonna throw it out there. Like, I
What a
really want
fucking
pizza
food.
right
I love
now.
it.
And she was
And he
like,
said
"Fuck
that,
you.
and I
We
was like,
decided
no.
Chinese food."
I was like, no, I
Oh
want
my god.
Chinese food.
I was
That's
like,
not where I
know.
thought that was going.
And it was
Nah, I know. I was an
disappointing.
idiot. I should never have ever done that. But like takeout Chinese,
Well, it
takeout
happens. It
pizza,
happens.
same kind of
Mm,
deliciousness.
I
well,
will say, like, the
Just from
pizza
Sushi
thing.
Express, okay? Like
The pizza thing is
prime.
it's kind of like it's whatever. Like, oh, it made us really want pizza, but like, truthfully, like it works its way into this movie's message so much where it's like, just think about like how often you have pizza and how often you just have food that like yeah, we eat the foods that we like, but like, when was the last time you were just eating something and just thought about like how good it tasted and how just
mhm.
like thought about the
God.
taste of it? It's like
Appreciative.
we take things for granted in such a way that's like, it's crazy. Because I will say, the next time I eat pizza after that, I was thinking about this movie and I was just like tasting it more, if that makes sense. I probably sound ridiculous and like I'm being over dramatic,
Like,
but
what are
like,
you talking about, dude?
I know, right? What the fuck? But no, honestly,
That's
like, it
essentially
was
what
just
the
like,
message is supposed to be.
yeah,
Well,
it's just like,
that's what I was gonna say. That,
enjoy
that was my favorite.
everything. Don't
Right,
take things
right.
for granted. Like, enjoy every second of it, and that's how you're the happiest. Is if like, if you have these lulls in your life where you're like, oh, I'm living like the next 4 hours just to get to tonight. Which, granted, it's impossible not to do that. Like, you have to do stuff you don't like. But if your whole life is stuff like that, just waiting for your big moment, it's like you're missing out on so much. Like, I feel like the happiest people in the world are people that have found something enjoyable about pretty much everything they're doing, if that makes sense.
Well, that I mean, dude, that was the message I walked out with. Just because, yeah, my favorite thing about the movie was the things they picked to convince 22 to love Earth, to fall in love with Earth was, which was her experience at the barbershop. That was my absolute favorite part of the movie, dude.
Oh, it
Because
was
even the barber,
beautiful.
yeah, even he goes like,
Dez,
this
I think
isn't.
his name was.
I
The
think so. Yeah,
barber.
he's like, this
He was
isn't,
great.
yeah, he was like, this isn't what I, grew up wanting to be. But and then he ends up even correcting Joe. He's like, I mean, dude, I love my life. I love this life and everything. And
It's like
I just
so
thought,
wholesome.
It
dude,
is.
it's so wholesome, and just the whole thing, it's just so authentic too. Because like me, like
Hmm.
I go to barbershop, right, like weekly or
Hey,
every
I
other
go to a
week or so.
barber shop.
No,
Matt
no, I'm
hasn't been
just
to the
saying.
barbershop since like before COVID
Well,
started.
no,
I
I
haven't.
legit, like, it's an actual barbershop, right? For like African American hairstyles and everything. And I just
Right.
think like the whole authenticity of it, when when they're talking about like,
It felt
once you're in
real.
that chair, dude, you take control. And just like the conversation they were having, and at the end, man, it killed me when he goes like, yeah, you've just never asked about me, about my
Yeah.
life. That's dude, that's like, I have conversations with my barber every week. And it's like, it's wholesome, kind of like, like, I know him on a personal level, like we talk about sports and everything. And I just thought the fact that they brought this into like a child's movie, and knowing obviously the parents are gonna be watching with them, like an older siblings gonna be watching, it speaks out to us. I mean,
It
it
does.
just,
Oh yeah.
that was, dude, my absolute favorite thing about the movie,
Yeah,
Well,
honestly.
no, go ahead, Bailey.
I was just gonna say if we're talking about all our favorite things, I was gonna say mine, and I think mine kind of coincides with what you're saying because it's the same thing like that it takes from everything that he and 22 learned about Earth that was so just like normal everyday things, but it's something that you can't take for granted. And
Right.
it's whenever he's sitting at his piano because like he played his show, he got the applause he wanted, he got all the fame, all the credit, and then he goes home and he's just like, I don't feel like anything's changed. Like
Hmm.
I feel the same. And he takes out all the like little pieces throughout his like journey with 22 to get back in his body, and it's like the pizza crust, the
Hmm.
leaf that fell from the tree, the suckers that they got from Dez's shop, like all that stuff, and he just like puts it on the piano and then like creates a song, and it's just so beautiful because it goes so into every day is just its own thing. Like you
Hmm.
can't go into a day being like, I'm going to accomplish everything I've ever wanted to do, because you can and you should have ambitions, but it doesn't mean like just completely ignore everything else that's good in life. Like having a piece of pizza is a good thing. Like taking a walk down the street when it's like really pretty outside. That's like, it seems so small, but it's like if people, I feel like, especially in the world nowadays, would just understand like how lucky you can be, and there are people who aren't lucky, and it's unfortunate, and so many terrible things happen, but I think like people can find good things in the world, and I think that's something that like this just proves to show it to everyone. Like,
Hmm.
stop pitying yourself and start just living your life and trying to be happy. Like, not every day is going to be great or
Right.
happy, but you can try. And
Right.
that's just what I took, because it was things like from my life that I'm thinking of and pulling from, that I'm like, I really need something to get me out of like the funk I'm in. And then I see this movie and bawling my eyes out the first and second time I watched it. And I'm just like,
She was.
this is just like what I want. Like, I want to feel that. So I got so much from it with that, especially that part. God, and the music was so beautiful.
Dude, the music was amazing.
Yeah, the two parts that both of y'all said, I think those are like just pivotal parts in this movie's message, where it's like different sides of the same coin, I guess, but like yeah, because the movie's preaching so much about like you do what you want to be happy, but the barbershop scene is so important because it's like, hold up, even if you don't do what your dream was or what the plan was, you can still be happy. If that clicks for
Right.
you, then that's perfect. And then yeah, just like the thing you're talking about, Bailey, hit me too, because it was like so many just little things that go by in your life that if you're not focused on them, just like eating a piece of pizza, walking through a park, like stuff like that. Like I've done that before. Like the other after we watched this movie, like the next time I walked to the park, I was like just looking at trees and stuff in a way where it's like you don't notice this stuff. Like it's just gets tuned out as noise, but if you like really focus on stuff, like it's just like the world is so beautiful, and it's if you're not thinking about it and taking it all in, you miss stuff. And I don't know, it's such a weird thing of like
I find it
slowing yourself
so
down and realizing like the stuff that you're is just part of your everyday life that you're not thinking of, and just how like beautiful and like you can get inspiration from that stuff. Like you can get inspiration from something like eating a piece of pizza like Joe did in this movie, where it's like if you're not thinking about it or focusing on it, you're not going to think anything of it. But if you like kind of just mellow out and focus on stuff and just kind of just take everything in, like these things can like be a point of happiness and meditation and even inspiration. So I thought all
Hmm.
that was just so cool.
find it so not dumb, but I'm like, we're talking about this Pixar child's like animated movie, and we're like, it's shown me how to live, but like that is what Pixar does somehow. Like, it takes something so simple and something like you're not supposed to go into an animated kids movie thinking you're gonna cry and reevaluate your life, but like you
But here we
do.
are.
And I think it's great. I think that's so it's so lucky that kids get to grow up with messages like that, because I think that's what kids need to see early on. Like, I don't know. I just feel like the child's mind is so
It's a delicate
sensitive.
thing.
It's a delicate thing, and it needs to be taught
Remember
that
that, Omar.
everything's okay.
Yes, sir. Every day. Yeah, I almost honestly wish this was the last movie I watched of 2020 to wrap up a shit year
Right?
instead of Wonder Woman. But you know, I
Nah.
can't always choose. But hey, I'm glad this is the first movie I've watched of this year to kind of set the
There you
tone,
go.
Yeah.
Set the
and go
bar
from
right.
there. So
And
Exactly.
hopefully
yep,
we're about to get a bunch of
appreciate it,
good movies or better
dude. Yeah,
movies or just
I mean,
more movies.
yeah,
HBO and
consistently.
Netflix has both come out with like they're saying, and
Yeah, did
Oh
y'all see
granted,
yeah.
that?
HBO's seem a lot better than
Did
Netflix,
you see
What?
that though?
but
Netflix is gonna have at least like one movie every week for
one
the
movie
whole
a
year.
week.
What?
So
Yeah, there's a dude. After
Wow.
we finish this shit, this stupid podcast, go click on, go to Netflix or go to YouTube or whatever. But yeah,
Mhm.
there it's like a little sizzle reel. It's only a couple minutes. It's like a trailer, but it's like
Oh,
just a
it
bunch
like
of
it shows what's coming out already.
oh yeah, it shows a bunch of movies that
Huh.
are coming out, a bunch of big actors in them and stuff. Yeah, I don't know if this stuff was already announced or not. Like some of it was, but
Yeah,
there
yeah,
must have
yeah.
been some surprises.
Well, that's
But yeah, it's
exciting.
like
Yeah, I'll definitely
every
check it out.
right. Am I wrong in that? Every week, there
no,
Netflix
no,
is gonna have
you're
a
right.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
That's
every
crazy,
it's
man.
kind of crazy.
How long is that supposed to last for?
The
the whole
year, I
year,
think.
2021, baby.
Holy shit, that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
So wait, yeah, do you guys want to rate this movie real quick?
Yeah, I
Yes,
guess we
sir.
might as well, because we usually for future shows we are gonna do this thing, this like little segment, where usually there's a fun fact segment, but Omar's just throwing them out in the middle of it, and I love it because
I
it's
think it
just
Actually,
really
works.
nice.
I think I had one more.
Go ahead, shoot it out there.
Yeah, because I had three total, and one of them kind of worked naturally in the conversation. I think yeah, Joe Gardner was the first African American protagonist. That one I already
Yeah.
said, and then I said the other thing about 22. The last fun fact was that, which I mean, you guys probably already knew, but once again, the fact that I've only seen a handful of these movies. I didn't realize this was the first Pixar movie to be released on Christmas. Um,
I didn't
Oh,
know
wow.
that.
I
yeah,
would have
well,
thought, and I guess that
right.
makes sense. But yeah, I mean, I would have like
Yeah, that kind of
if
blew my
somebody
mind
asked me, I
because
probably would have been like, there has to at least be another
right,
one.
a Pixar, yeah, holidays, all that. For some reason, so I noticed a trend. I was like very curious when I saw that nothing came out around Christmas. I was like, maybe Christmas Eve, maybe just around Christmas. Out of their entire just list of movies, um, there's a handful of movies they really like June and November for some reason. Like maybe 80% of their movies come out in either June or November.
That makes sense.
So I thought that was interesting.
Look
Yeah.
at you little fact checker.
I
Yeah,
feel like
Um,
yeah, Pixar normally I think is they do a summer movie because normally they do one a year, but every now and then they'll do two. Like we got Onward this year too, which was the summer one, and then I guess that's
But-
maybe that's why there's normally not one at Christmas because they normally throw it in the middle of the year. So
that makes
Yeah.
sense.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
So yeah, we'll have like little facts thrown in for everybody, and then we also have this showstopper report we like to do where it's the best and worst things from the movies that we thought. We kind of already went through the best things that we thought of the movie. However, I will throw out that which one is it? Terry, the like accountant guy.
Dude,
Thought
I
he was
love
great.
that guy, dude.
He was so
yeah.
funny. I think
Was it a guy or a girl?
it was a guy. There was a guy who played him. I looked it up because Terry was the accountant guy, right?
I'm for some reason
you
blanking.
sure?
You guys watched this movie yesterday. I haven't
Yeah.
seen it in 2 weeks, so I can't
No,
even.
I
don't even
literally
remember this
Jerry
character.
was Jerry
It's
was
the little ratatouille looking fuck.
yeah. Hey,
Ratatouille
Ratatouille's-
looking for-
Ratatouille is a great movie.
Never seen it.
But yeah, no, it was a man that played him. I think his last name is Graham. or
Terry? No,
something.
it says it was played by Rachel House.
Dude, it was a girl. I told you, bro.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I just looked it up, so I must have read it. I must have read like the order wrong.
you probably looked at Jerry, not Terry, because a lot of
no,
people
I
played
thought
Jerry.
I looked at Terry.
I don't know.
Nah, because
Maybe
yeah,
it
I could
changed.
tell. I was like, yeah, I don't know.
Well, then maybe
Anyways.
I'm mixing him up. Either way, it doesn't matter. So yeah, but I thought that Terry was fantastic.
Dude, I agree.
I don't remember Terry, but
He was the one that
He was the one
like
that was
literally
trying to
took track
catch
of
him.
yeah the souls and stuff. Like
Yeah.
oh, okay.
He was
and
either way, he was great.
I was gonna say another thing too. Yeah, I mean I love the character and
First you.
everything, but there
Sorry.
wasn't really yeah it wasn't really an antagonist in this movie. Which I thought didn't. I mean they didn't really need one.
I think I think Joe
Yeah, but-
himself was.
Oh, Joe, really?
Yeah.
That's
I think he
interesting.
was his own antagonist,
Okay,
which was
that's an
really
interesting take.
interesting.
Yeah.
So
I like
yeah.
that.
But yeah, so we'll most of the time have more showstopper stuff to say at the end. But we already went through that, so dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. That was showstopper. So yeah, I think we can just go ahead and say if we would recommend this to fellow watchers.
Fellow watchers.
Wait, that's dumb.
Yeah,
right?
I know. I was thinking about
It's like,
that
why
when we
would
were doing the test
recommend
one.
it- Why would we recommend it if they they already would have watched it?
Well, no, I think
don't know
everyone
why
just
I
has their own rating
recommend.
system. I think I was the only one that actually used the word recommend.
Oh,
yeah.
I guess that's why it threw me off.
Yeah, Omar was
Yeah.
like equating it to like would I recommend it to a friend.
Right, but it's like my own rating
Oh.
system. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just weird like
okay.
that.
So
No, I just like completely misunderstood myself.
so
So-
would Omar recommend it to a friend?
Would I Okay, so my rating scale is would I recommend it to a close friend? Would I recommend it to a friend? Would I recommend it to an enemy? I guess, which is someone I don't like, right? Because I would recommend them
You
like
just
a movie I
text
didn't
someone
like.
you haven't
to-
talked to in years, and you're like, "Hey, watch Soul."
Yeah, that's if I didn't like the movie, right? Because I'd want them to have a bad experience.
Right.
Right.
I'm gonna go one beyond that. I would recommend this to a close friend of a close friend because I thought this
Damn.
movie
Holy
was fucking great, dude. The
Damn.
message is just so like there's not one single thing I didn't like about this movie.
Omar, I'm gonna go a step even further than your step and say that you should recommend this movie to your enemy too, because maybe they would
Just
learn
everyone.
something
Recommend
about
it-
themselves,
and
Learn a
they're
damn
no
maybe
longer
they
my
wouldn't
enemy.
have to be your enemy anymore.
I like that.
I'm just saying.
Interesting take. What about
Sweet,
you guys?
Okay, Matt, go ahead.
I like when we did this last time. I talked about muffins, so I think I'm gonna stick it with muffins. And you know what?
Yes,
I
dude.
would give this movie 5 muffins out of 5, and I would make them chocolate chip muffins.
Yes.
I
Damn.
would.
I still just don't agree with this meter because I think blueberry muffins are the top tier of muffins.
No, Nah.
But whatever. I
To
get
be
it's not
fair,
mine,
Bailey.
so.
To be fair, I haven't specified yet if chocolate chip is better than blueberry on this scale. Like
Yeah,
I gave
shit.
this scale is as convoluted as it's coming off to everybody right now. Chocolate chip, 5 chocolate chip muffins. Is that better than 5 blueberry muffins? We're gonna have to find out as we keep going.
I'm excited. That's awesome.
You should.
All
be.
right, and
I mean, they are,
I
but
guess I'm staying on the
You should
food.
be.
See, I never have like one I stick with because I can never decide what I want to be like my meter of great or bad. So I guess for this one, what I keep thinking of is like, would I want to buy popcorn for this movie and spend the extra $12 for the extra large, or would I not even waste money on this movie
it's
and get
$12.
no popcorn? I don't know. I just threw a number out there.
Holy shit!
So, yes, I would buy a popcorn, I'd buy an icy, I'd buy some candy to go with it. I'd buy everything to
Goddamn,
enjoy
I
this
like your
amazing
scale.
movie.
That's smart actually,
that is.
because that's actually
My
helpful.
God. So yeah, because when you think you're gonna go see a shitty movie, you're just like, I don't want to spend any money on this because I feel like I just want to like watch it.
Get me in,
Actually,
get me out.
at the same time though, I'm like, oh, I should enjoy something with this.
I was gonna
movie.
say,
So
yeah. Usually it makes me want to spend more money just to kind of make up for the shit experience.
yeah.
You
Either
can make-
way, it was
yeah.
great. That's my
That's
point.
awesome, man. Yeah, I think
Oh.
honestly, it's probably my second favorite like Pixar movie of all time. Mine is just no
Out
matter
of the
what comes
5.
out. Wow. No, mine's always gonna be The Incredibles. It's just like the first Incredibles is always gonna be my favorite. But nah, man, this movie just spoke to me so much, especially after like the year I think we've all had. It was great, great.
Yeah,
Agreed.
guys. What a good movie. And we'll have more good ones to come or worse ones. We don't really know which ones we're picking yet, but you'll find out on the next episode.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
we didn't think about this because aren't we supposed to say what the next movie is? We
Yeah,
didn't.
but this was kind of like our test run
It
of our
is.
test run.
I mean, we could
is.
discuss it
So-
real quick right now if you guys want. Up to you.
Okay.
Just
So
real quick.
with the audience, we've been discussing for our first round of genres that we're gonna do. We figured we would pick everything. Like each one of us picks a movie in a specific genre, and there's like 1,000 genres and like subgenres
At
you can
least.
pick from.
Millions.
So far, the first one we want to start with is futuristic sci-fi. And so I have a few movies I kind of want to throw out there, and it was 12 Monkeys, which my brother Mike has been suggesting forever. Shout out to Mike. And it looks really interesting, and I think Bruce Willis is in it. And also Brad Pitt, maybe? I don't know. I can't remember. And then I have Minority Report, which is a Tom Cruise movie, and I love that movie, but I know neither of y'all have seen it. Correct?
Correct. I haven't seen either of
think-
these.
And then
Same.
Children of Men.
Never
which-
even heard of it.
It's from I want to say it was like 2008. I'm probably wrong, and everyone's gonna yell at me. All the 3 people watching this, but
Oh, you think we got 3 people? 'Cause I
mean,
don't even know.
The 3 of us are gonna
That
be
is
people
true.
watching this.
Baseline.
So yeah, those are my choices. I'm trying to decide from. But I feel like we were gonna go with Omar's picks first, right? For the futuristic sci-fi.
Oh
Up
my
to you
God.
guys.
Guys, I just realized if I put my finger on the back of this mic, I wouldn't recommend doing this, but it starts buzzing.
Really? Like
Yeah,
in
I
a
don't
good way?
hear anything.
If you start jamming it, only in my own headset, but
Jamming it
if
in
you
the
jam
back.
your finger into that socket that we don't have anything plugged into, like if you just stick it like right that, like it's
This is like how we all die and get electrocuted
No,
on
that's
camera.
not
you
doing
don't,
anything for
you
me.
don't hear it.
Nope.
Interesting. Maybe I
No.
have a current flowing through me.
You
That
probably
is
do.
interesting.
So
electrifying,
yeah, I
baby.
don't know because Omar has like suggested a couple movies too. So I don't know if y'all want to just start with his.
Well, here's what I would say. If you know off the top of your head which one you were gonna do, then we go with Omar's. If Omar wasn't ready yet, since we
'cause I'm
didn't
not
plan this
ready.
out, well, no. If you listed 3 just now, so we'd have to pick
yeah, but I'm
one of
not
those.
ready which one I want to do.
No, maybe we should just disband the podcast.
Well,
Yeah,
shit.
I'm just not liking how this is going.
Do
we got
you-
too ahead of ourselves.
Do you know Omar, or should we?
I
just...
do.
Oh, well, good.
I actually had a couple, but after listening to Michael Rosenbaum's podcast with
Shout
Stephen
out.
Yeah,
Amell,
shout out.
yeah, Stephen Amell's episode was just great and really reflected on what happened in the past year and his own experience and everything. It got me really in the mood to just watch some of his movies, and Code 8 was on my list. And Code 8 is a movie him and his cousin are both in. And I'm not sure who directed it, but I know they had a lot of say in it. Like it was a project him and his cousin really put a lot of work into it, and I think they funded like most of it. It's just like a project that meant a lot to them, and it's very futuristic, which is
Cool.
what we're going for, and I think
Never even heard of it, if I'm being
that's
honest. So
fucking
All
great.
the
Well, you
better.
have, because I recommended it a couple of times, but you guys just never watched it.
now,
So
yeah,
yeah,
this is literally
but
us
now,
forcing each other to watch the stuff we never
yeah,
wanted
so
to
I'm very
watch.
That's the
excited.
point of this. Even if we get 0 listeners, doesn't matter.
Yeah, fuck 'em.
We're not disbanding because we're finally gonna
Finally
watch.
listening.
We're finally
or
gonna listen to
watching
each
the
other's
things.
suggestions because we're
Yeah.
bound
Right.
by oath now.
Which is exciting. So yeah,
I
that's
thought
that's my pick. It's on Netflix for anyone that wants to watch it alongside with us
Perfect.
for the upcoming week. And yeah, it's a Netflix original, and it's a really good movie.
Yeesh.
Well, subjectively. But yeah, if you're into like Stephen Amell or his cousin,
If
or
that's
just
your thing, then you're
Canadians.
gonna love Code
Yeah,
8.
if that's your thing. Yeah.
All right, so Code 8. Code 8's gonna be our next movie episode.
Wait for the
Cool.
next episode.
I'm excited.
Year?
I'm
It's like
excited.
code date.
Code date.
Mm.
We haven't decided yet officially when these episodes are going to come out, but just know that within 1 week from when you're watching this, Code 8 will be out.
Sweet.
All
That's
right.
exciting.
Also, we're doing WandaVision.
Yeah. Which comes out this
so we're
Friday.
gonna
Bailey
be-
can say it more officially and better, but
We're gonna be doing two different types of episodes a week, and it's one episode is gonna be us talking about the movies we're forcing each other to watch, and the next is gonna be all of the TV shows that are gonna be coming out on Disney Plus or anywhere that are gonna be released
All of
throughout
them.
this year.
Yeah,
There's
well,
just
now
so many that are amazing. So Star Wars, Marvel, all of it. So we're gonna go through and watch and discuss them every Friday. It's gonna be great. It won't be posted Friday, maybe, but it'll be discussed Friday
might be.
after
It's
it
gonna
comes
depend
out. We'll figure
how
all that
fast
out,
we
and we'll
are.
let y'all know that in the commercial.
cut. I'm just kidding. It's not
So,
ready. Don't cut.
Anyway, guys, it's been a pleasure, and I hope y'all have enjoyed this little mess of a podcast we just did. But it'll be better going
it's our first
forward.
episode.
It's only the beginning.
Just,
It's only can get better.
There'll be a
Yep.
lot less fucks. I'm kidding.
Wow.
We'll probably
If you guys
say
have
it a lot.
if you guys have any recommendations on how we could improve, if maybe
Don't
one
tell
of us needs
us.
to
We'll
be
figure it
replaced,
out.
like if I need to be replaced,
Yeah,
just
stop
let
trying
us
to
know,
control everything, guys.
and we'll go from there.
All
Yeah.
right, we gotta cut this off. Bye, guys.
Later. Wow, she really.
And